You are tuned in to On Air with Chris Shanafelt.
Welcome back, On Air with Chris Shanafelt. And in case you missed any of our past shows, past interviews, go ahead and check them out, christianshanafelt.com, blogtalkradio.com/christianshanafelt, or you can search the show On Air with Chris Shanafelt on iTunes. That's right, we're back on iTunes, so there's certainly more than a few different ways you all can check out the show. No excuses, even on YouTube. Just search On Air with Chris Shanafelt, or whoever's name or whoever's interview you're trying to look for. Go ahead and search their name in the search bar, and it will certainly pop up there again on YouTube, iTunes, and many other different places. Tonight we continue our 2019 NFL Draft interview series as we welcome back onto the show one of the more underrated prospects in the country out of NAIA's Dickinson State University. It's a pleasure to welcome back onto the show cornerback Jamalcolm Liggins. And Jamalcolm, really do appreciate you taking some time this evening. How's everything going, man?
It's going good, man. It's going good. Pleasure to be on the show. Thanks for calling me.
Hey, the pleasure's all mine. So for those out there listening, or maybe they missed our last conversation, Jamalcolm, but we had you on 1 week into your senior season. Fast forward a few months, and the Dickinson State Bluehawks finished 9-3, making yet another run in the NAIA playoffs. And Jay, you finished the season with 8 interceptions and a forced fumble. Again, a spectacular senior season just to top off an incredible collegiate career there at DSU. Besides making a further run in the playoffs, could your senior year have gone any better?
Yeah, again, like you said, like going further in the playoffs, obviously that'd be really nice. But I think as a team and like for myself, I think we accomplished most of the goals that we had. We haven't had a playoff win since like 2004, I believe it was. And so for us to get that was really big. And then, so that was huge for me. That was my first time advancing to the second round. So I've been in college losing all 3 previous years in the first round. So that was really nice for me. And then to have 4 picks in the playoff round to help us advance, that was spectacular as well. So like, I don't think it could have went any better than this. I mean, possibly, but I couldn't imagine as of now. I was really satisfied with how things turned out, how the team played, and how we progressed throughout the season.
All right, you just said it. I was going to wait a little bit, but let's just get right to it, man. 4 interceptions, 4 of your 8 interceptions on the season came in the playoffs, Northwestern College. You guys walked away with the victory, 14-6, but again, 4 interceptions in that ball game. You said it's been a long time since Dickinson State got a playoff victory. It's your senior year, first game of the playoffs. You were a big and a crucial part of that playoff victory. What did it mean to you? How were you able to snag the ball not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times in that playoff game? You would think the opponent's opponent's quarterback would kind of get the memo after 2 or 3 picks. Instead, you're able to bring in 4 of them. I mean, how big of a game was that? Not only for you, but for your team to get that playoff victory. And looking back, where does that one rank in terms of wins for you at Dickinson State?
For me, that was probably one of my best games, clearly. And then for the team, it was awesome to get that. It was nice for the coach, nice for the fans, just because we had, like you said, we haven't done this since 2004. So it's a long time since the fans have seen us win on the road like that. So that was really huge for us. And then for me to have finished my immediately finish my season, but me to cap off my senior season doing that was huge for me. And I've never had that many picks in the game, but I think it really comes down to the coaching staff setting us up in situations to win, and then along with my teammates, like you said, like he probably knew he didn't want to throw to me after a while, but just the position our defense set us in, the coaching staff. So I feel like it comes up to a team effort as a fact, like he's not trying to throw 4 picks to me. You know, I definitely wasn't a guy he wanted to target. And so for me to still be able to go out there and make so many plays while they're still like not really wanting to throw to me like that, you know, those really shows what kind of scheme and what kind of team we had.
No doubt about it, and that was actually Dickinson State's first playoff victory on the road in program history. So just to make things a little bit sweeter, again, that was on the road, but what was so special about playing at home? Throughout your entire collegiate career, the Blue Hawks never suffered a loss there at home at Dickinson State. That's pretty damn rare, damn hard to do. What was the advantage come game day while when playing at home?
The fans, I would say, the fans that always made it lively, made us happy to be there, and you always wanted to put a show in front of the guys. So that was really nice. Just coming in there with a little confidence, a little swagger, knowing like that it's gonna be a packed house, that coaches are gonna come to play, the fans are gonna cheer loud, and all your boys are gonna be ready for it. So I was just like the swagger that comes along with playing there, and just from the fans, like, you just gotta love the atmosphere that it brings, and then the tradition that everyone wants to hold. Obviously as the years have gone, we didn't expect to go undefeated every year at home. I mean every year at home like that. So for the big opportunities, just to go out there and just put on the show game by game, it was spectacular. How you say it, like not a lot of schools do that. Not a lot of fans get to experience that. Like there's students I've gone to school who've never seen us lose a football game at home, and that's just a huge feat to our team and the guys that came and gone, and the coaching staff as well.
We're chatting with the cornerback out of Dickinson State University, Jamalcolm Liggins. And Jay, I mean, when you hear that, you're a 2019 NFL draft prospect. I'm sure that this was always something you've kind of dreamed about. But when for you did it seem like that dream was really within your grasp? When did it kind of hit you that you were going to make this you were going to give this thing a shot? Try your hardest, try your best to make it to the professional level?
When I first got to college, one of the coaches who coached the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and he was also in the league, Shanafelt, he told me he thought I had the ability to, if I continued to advance my skills, I had the ability to play at the next level. And I was a freshman. I was pretty excited to hear something like that. But I didn't really think too deeply into it, and I started getting older. And then I was just thinking, like, no way I can go to the league. I just didn't think it was like an actual I didn't think it was a realistic goal for me. And then like when I was like a sophomore, I just woke up one morning and I was just like, I think I can really do it. And I think like if I really just push myself and act as in someone who wants to make this dream a reality, I think I can really do it. So I think I just kind of spoke it into existence. And then so with my actions, I just started trying to really do it. And then like I think after my sophomore season, so during my junior season is when I was really just like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to try to go to the NFL and really give it a good shot. And then having the chance to meet with, like, an agent and stuff like that, I never thought that would be something, like, that would be a realistic thing for me. But just being here now, it's pretty surreal. And I think I got a good shot, and I just got to keep pushing myself, having the same mindset I had throughout my college career.
And your collegiate career has been over for a few months now, unfortunately to a loss against Kentucky Wesleyan in the NAIA playoffs. But what has your schedule consisted of since the end of the season? I know you're training for your pro day. Were you able to settle in on an agent, or are you still making that decision? What has your schedule consisted of since your collegiate career officially ended?
Well, I signed with EEMG Sports, and so my agent's Edward Brown. I signed with their team. So now I'm in Dallas, Texas, training with the Raw Power team, Damon Patterson II, out here in Texas. And so we're getting it pretty heavily, like 3 times a day, starting with lifting, then speed work, jump work, depending on how the day is going, and then finish it with some DB skills. So we usually do that Monday through Saturday.
Do you have a current height and weight on you? When was the last time you were measured? I know your school website, they're pretty quick to get your football bio off the website, by the way. But last I checked, I believe they had you listed at like 6'2", around 190, maybe 200, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, as of now, I'm 6'2", 213.
That's certainly some great size, and obviously being from a smaller school, that's going to be something that really attracts scouts. That'll at least those maybe not familiar with your game at least give you a chance and turn on your film. What has that process been like? Have you been able to meet with any scouts, or have you been able to get any feedback from any scouts or decision makers? I mean, do you have any idea what the league thinks of Jamalcolm Liggins as of right now?
I don't have idea what teams what they think necessarily, but I've been contacted by a few teams through emails and phone calls and such like that. So I kind of have an idea what teams who have me on their radar, as far as what I think and like what they expect of me and things like that. I don't have anything like that.
And, Jamalcolm, I know the last time we spoke, I said it quite a few times, but again, I'm watching, as I do for just about every prospect I interview. As I talk to them, I also have on my computer screen their highlights, any game film, anything like that playing, and just watching your highlights. I mean, that one-handed grab you had in the playoffs. I mean, watching your highlights, it's really really mind-blowing that you're still kind of flying under the radar, at least media-wise. I know the NFL is certainly awake and they're certainly aware of you, but just for those not familiar with your game, how would you describe it? I mean, you're kind of a do-it-all defensive back. I mean, when I say that, you're certainly physical. Again, you offer great size at the cornerback position. You're not afraid to get physical. You have great hands. I mean, normally there's kind of a drop at one of those areas. It doesn't seem like that's the case for you. For those not familiar with your game, how would you describe it?
Like you said, I'm a big physical corner. I like to be up close. I like to have contact. Not afraid to get in there and get dirty. I have big confidence in my hands and my catching abilities, and then also with my speed, and I think I'm capable of playing at the next level, and I think I'm only getting better, truthfully, since I've got out here and started training, and then so I'm just really excited to see what's next, see what's available, and I think I'm ready to compete. I'm ready to play at anything. If I get the shot, I think I'll run away with it.
And, it's funny, you mentioned speed. You mentioned you'll run away with it. You, of course, do have a track and field background as well. So do you think that's going to help you out at all with your pro day process, whether it's running the 40 or, the vertical leap or anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. I was a two-time All-American long jumper, so that'll help improve my vertical ability and my broad jumping. And then my 40 technique, I was pretty sound with my running mechanics being in track. But with this training I've had with DP and these guys, I think I improved my technique and my start and my running even more. So, and then with the draft pins, the pro day being kind of far away still, I think I'm only going to get better with that stuff. And so I think I'm really liking the progress I'm making, and I'm excited to see what happens.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Have you been? Do you know what programs pro day you'll be participating in? Will you be having one at Dickinson State, or will you be getting into one of the bigger universities in the North Dakota area?
I'll probably go to North Dakota State's pro day on March 27th.
That'll be big time, no doubt about it. Every year it seems like North Dakota State has some prospects to watch out for. They had, of course, Bruce Anderson, a running back in the Senior Bowl, quarterback Easton Stick in the East-West Shrine game, so certainly a couple guys in the very least that are on the NFL radar. I really like their defensive end, Greg Menard, so I wouldn't be surprised if you kind of stole the spotlight away from a couple of those guys there at that North Dakota State pro day. Again, that would be a big opportunity for you. Jay, being from Dickinson State, I mean, a lot of people are going to say, he played at the NAIA level, and when looking at your scouting report, it'll be listed under the negative, and that'll be competition. I mean, talk about the competition level that you faced over the years, and is that something that you kind of take pride in, being from taking the unordinary route to get to where you're at today, being from an NAIA program and still having an opportunity to make it to the league?
Yeah, I feel like it shows the kind of guy I am, the kind of work ethic I have, and the just always pushing, not really taking no for answer. Because I agree, like a lot of schools are gonna say like NIA that's not really up to par with some of these schools, which like they might be right, but I feel like looking at my like seeing the way I play, like I feel like I play a little bit up to par from my level as well. So how could they like? I feel like I would my talent shows itself, and I feel like truthfully that's in the past. Like, that's only gonna get me so far, and I feel like I've even gotten better since I've been playing collegiately, and so like I think that's gonna showcase itself as well. The improvement I've made, and then being where I am now, when I get to the pro day at EDSU, I'm gonna be in the same spotlight as all these other guys. So where I came from won't really matter anymore. Like I'm no longer in a college athlete. I'm an NFL prospect. So I feel like that's in the past. I'm in the same pool as all these other cats. And then so like I think I'm gonna showcase what I got.
Most memorable play over the years? I mean, again, we mentioned a big time game in the playoffs, 4 interceptions. I know you have some experience playing wide receiver as well, so that's even more of a credit to your hands being a defensive back. What would you say is the most memorable play of your collegiate career? Let's say 5-10 years down the road, what's going to be that first play that comes to mind when thinking about your Blue Hawks career?
Probably that one-headed pick that you mentioned earlier against Presentation. That was probably a pretty memorable play for me. It was really exciting. I liked the reaction from the crowd. It was really like I loved it. It was hype, and yeah, that was probably one of my most explosive plays, most memorable.
Picture perfect as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's your Twitter profile picture.
Yes, it is.
I love it. It is. I love it. Hey, who would you say are a couple of players? They could be current or past NFL players that you really enjoy watching, and maybe you take bits and pieces of their game and add it onto your own?
Xavier Rose is a guy who I really like. Think his size and stuff is very similar to mine. So I feel like that's the guy who I like to watch and take notes on, see how he plays. And then truthfully, with any of those corners in the league, I think they're all pretty skilled guys and pretty good technicians. But he sticks out the most just being his height and weight, being very similar to mine. But as far as like all-time player, Michael Vick's definitely my guy.
Okay, can't go wrong with that. Cannot go wrong with that. A couple more questions for Jay Liggins, the defensive back, 2019 NFL draft prospect out of Dickinson State University. And, you know, this is probably something I should have asked in the beginning of the interview, Jay, but how did you wind up at Dickinson State University? We talk about the great size that you offer. You absolutely dominated the NAIA level ever since you arrived there at DSU. Was there a late growth spurt? I mean, I got to think if you were, around this size, even if you were a 6-foot cornerback coming out of high school, I got to think there would be a lot more attention or a lot more schools kind of battling for you. What was the whole recruiting process like for you coming out of high school, and how did you ultimately land at Dickinson State University?
Well, truthfully, when I was coming out of high school, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with my life and my career. So I wasn't too focused on going to college in a sense. And then I didn't have that many big time schools hitting me up or anything like that. But one thing I did want to know, I wanted to do track as well. Cause I wasn't sure if I was gonna go to college or not. And then so like a lot of schools that contacted me, I wasn't too eager, and I wasn't very like cooperative, I guess. So like looking back on it, I didn't do a very good job in my recruiting process. And then I turned down a decent amount of schools. And then a lot of the response I got from the schools were like I had like some coaches tell me I'm making a big mistake for not going to their program and things such as that. And then with the Dickinson State, when I told them that I was going to go a different direction, it was just all support from them, and that's what I really appreciate. They're just like, okay, like if you change your mind, let us know. Compared to other schools telling me I'm making a big mistake, like I'm not very smart for doing the decision I'm taking. And then so for them to have my back and just be like that they're here for me regardless, I really like that, and I feel like it spoke to what the program was about, and I was really a big fan of that. And then having a teammate from my high school decide to go there as well, it really helped me, really pushed me to go in that direction. And then I thought it'd be really nice to to go to college because it was not like really big in our family. So like I thought that was really be a really nice feat, and I decided to really just take the venture into doing it. It's one of the best decisions of my life.
And how much would you credit the coaching staff there at DSU for the success that you had, not only as a team but individually as well? Specifically, head coach Pete Stanton. I mean, he's been there ever since you arrived there at DSU. How much of an impact has he had on your collegiate career up to this point?
Huge impact. He's the guy who still stays in contact with me now. He's always the guy that if I needed anything, I could come to him. I felt comfortable coming to him. He was on my back a little bit with school, which I needed. So it was really nice having him in my corner, and still is, along with the other coaching staff there. It was a really big family base. Anytime I needed to ask a question with someone, the doors were always open. So that was the reason why I decided to come there. I felt like a family there, and when I got there, it really was a family. So it made all the years being there worth it, and Pete was just always a great guy to me. Still has been, and I think he'll be a guy who I stay in contact with for the rest of my life.
And today, of course, was National Signing Day, a big day for all levels of college football, from FBS to NAIA. What do you got to say to those who just made the decision that they'll continue their football career and attend Dickinson State University? And how would you kind of, not that you need to sell them on it anymore since they just signed, but how would you sell the football program to those that might be considering DSU in the future?
I would just say, like, it's a big family there. You're not going to regret it. Anyone who goes out there, they know it. They'll feel it right away. As soon as you step on the campus, it feels like a community. The community's behind you. Your teammates are behind you. It's a real big family sense. And then if you push yourself to work hard, the sky's the limit. There's no, like, don't get caught up with all the small school stuff. Like, you can get anywhere you push your mind to if you just keep working hard and bettering yourself each and every day.
And you are a perfect example of that. I really think you're going to make it big time, and it's going to be a lot of fun watching your career play out. Jay, one last question for you, then we'll let you go. It's a question I finish all my interviews with, and that is, let's say we have all 32 NFL general managers. They're tuned into this very interview. Why should they want the cornerback out of Dickinson State University, Jamalcolm Liggins, a part of their organization?
Well, just I'm a competitor. I always want to get better and better. Very coachable. So, like, I don't mind the criticism. I just encourage it just to let me know what I think needs to do to improve my game. And just I'm a hard worker, and I'm ready to compete, ready to take someone's job. So
definitely the mindset you need to have. Jay, really do appreciate you taking some time this evening. Really do appreciate you allowing us to kind of keep in touch with you and follow your story, and really looking forward to seeing where this thing ends up. Best of luck at North Dakota State for your pro day. Not going to be surprised at all when you blow it out of the park and see that draft stock of yours really rise from that point on. Again, really appreciate it, man, and really wishing you all the best of luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you.